All right, so you get to meet the crew behind it, but also Charlie, who plays the serious guy right there. He says that the trailer kind of oversold him. I really don't think so. Charlie Karumi is an actor, and of course, Bramwell Airo, who is a service producer for this specific film, Watu Wote, are both here as well. Charlie, that scene. You say that it was overselling you, but you did great, and you were. This is based on a true story.
Yes.
Was there pressure for you? Did you feel pressure to really sell this?
Yes, I guess there's pressure to sell any role, but this one specifically because there's so much emotion attached to it, because it's based on the true story of stories that are happening in Mandera, or like so often. So yeah, there was a
pressure to deliver.
Yes,
and that's
there was.
Tell me, what did it take for you to make sure, I don't know, maybe nights of cramming, or did you have to sit down and watch a lot of these films that are based on terrorism for you to really get into that character?
No, like I read up on the stories, like on the actual stories that the short film is based on. So the attack that happened in Mandera, and then you read about all these people who bunched together to protect their fellow man, and that gives you like the good in society. So now for my part, I was trying to portray the evil. So like all the good I read about in the articles, I was just like, I need to do like this level of good, I need to match it in evil. So that was the process.
I think you did great. All right. Bramwell, you're the service producer behind this. Yes. First of all, tell Kenyans, what is a service producer and what do they do within, in a movie set?
I guess my particular role in this particular project is similar to any producer's role. The only difference is I got introduced to the project, I guess, a bit after it had been conceived. The film itself is graduation, like a graduation film for Hamburg Media School students. So there were 4 particular students, one of them called Tobias, who was a producer, Katya, the director, Felix, the cinematographer, and Julia, who wrote and did post-production on the film. So that was the main team that I got in touch with. So along with Tobias, Madrid and I produced, and Christine Savane was our production manager. So that's part of the team that we formed. It was a very tight German-Kenyan collaboration on this particular project.
And the thing is that the film itself has 10 live action. It was part of the 10 live action short advances in the Oscars for 2017.
The film has had an interesting journey. It's been exciting. It's been a wild year. The number of awards that it has bagged all over, on the continent, off the continent, because on the continent I know it won at ZIF, it won at DIF. It's won all those particular awards. And in October of last year, we won gold at the Student Academy Awards. Put us on the long list for the main Oscars. And in November, we got news that the film was among the top 10 for the Oscars.
Right.
So something interesting that's going to happen, I guess, in the next couple of days is we find out whether we make it into the top 5. Yeah.
Charlie, for you, how did it feel to have this movie that you participated in being recognized in the Oscars? I mean, for all we know, you could be the next Lupita.
I know,
right?
like a shorter version of Lupita. No, like it was interesting because as an actor, as someone involved in a film, you do a film and it's so exciting when you're doing it and it's so beautiful. So when you're leaving set, when we were done with the shoot, we're like, that was a pretty good movie. And then you move on to other work. But then, because you're biased, you'll think it's an amazing movie. But then other people start noticing it and go like, that was a pretty good movie. So like the awards just came streaming in, like Bramwell said, like it went to Zanzibar, it won, it went to Durban, it won, it went all over Europe, and like it did a circuit in the States, and it was winning everywhere, like every time, like Tobias, the producer, I think it was like every 2 weeks, he'd tag us in a post on Facebook, and I'd be like, what is it, Tobias? And it's like, oh, by the way, we've won again. I was like wow. It happened so many times.
But did Watu Wote premiere here in Kenya?
Watu Wote is going to premiere in Kenya.
Oh, so it hasn't yet.
It hasn't yet.
Because I'm like, I didn't get the memo.
It's happening on Tuesday. We are very excited. I think you should be on the list if you're not already.
Right.
But this Tuesday at Prestige, the Cinemax there, 6:30, we're having like the big launch of the film in Kenya because we truly feel it's a Kenyan film. Okay. It's a very Kenyan story. So Watu Wote is coming home finally after a long year of travels. What's coinciding with this particular announcement or this particular premiere is the announcement from Academy Awards saying whether we'll make it now from the top 10 into the top 5.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll be keeping an eye on that. So very quickly, there's also Tosh Kitonga has just joined us here and said he's a man who needs no introduction. I will let his trailer introduce him, Nairobi Half-Life. I'm sure you've come across it. If you haven't, you are probably living in a cave. But here's a trailer towards Nairobi Half-Life, and we'll get to talk to Tosh Kitonga. Take a look.
Kuaje hapa. Yora siria ke mudonyo ubo mwasi nyoga korwa testa. Kibuluzu hili zili. Uko poa? Uko poa. Ramani uko ocha. Ego thie Nairobi.
Na Nairobi nikuo koma thina na mirimo cituraga. Ni uyu uko.
Jua Nairobi kutoboa ni janges.
Natafuta ka live.
Atukindi live hapa.
Unaweza ni organize ya wax?
Unajua Gaza uradi ni maspray hapa. Kile kuna mambo, kichuri, manyapundes.
Want an audition.
Audition ni bila dogo. Sisi lazima ka nice.
Pia amebonga. Jaluo ile daga lireko.
Na tujai dunga, tujai chapia ndai live.
Ndio maana tujai shika kiso. It's not about punishing them. It's about giving them a wake-up call.
That guy's not a man. That's why I like him. A beast. Wanada ya showbiz 50-50.
Na tukiwakausha.
Arrest them! Sisi watu, si ni maiti.
Feels like I have to live two different people every day.
All right, so the director behind it is here. Tosh, good morning. Thank you so much for making time. Tosh.
It's Saturday, Bana. Morning.
It's Saturday, but thank you so much for coming. I mean, all of you, really. Yes. Tosh, for you, when it comes to Nairobi Half-Life and all the other projects that you've done and still continue to do you feel as if Kenyans really pay attention to their own local content, or it's until it's mentioned in the Oscars that then Kenyans are like, yeah, that's one of ours?
We've had this debate for so long.
Yeah.
I think it's not about whether they've had it, that it's gone out there, that they're now interested in it. I think I've always thought that Kenyans, I mean, if you go way back, film in Africa really started around here, you know, from 1900s and whatnot. You know, our own first president was in a film, and we've been exposed to Hollywood from a long time ago. And Kenyans have been exposed from the word go to, you know, good quality films. And I think that's where the problem is. If they're not getting the kind of film they're accustomed to, they won't bother. Yeah, I mean, I've seen, I've been watching, I've seen a lot of interest. Whenever there's a film, people in Kenya want to go and see. And it gets to a point where if it's not up to what they expect, then they stop going.
Right.
And word of mouth here is very strong. So I think that's where the problem is. I don't think the problem is with Kenyans. It's us to change how we approach filming. You know, it's not about just writing a script and going to film it. We need to go through the process, which is develop it until it's at a point where, you know, the audience across the world can say it's at par with anything else. Then now we are
So what do we need to do to develop it? That way, when we hear a movie is coming from Kenya, I want to pay 600, 800 to go watch it. And I get excited and I share the trailer and I talk about it. What can we do to make sure that Kenya gets to that level?
Spend the time. You know, it's not easy. You don't come up with an idea today, write a script in the next 1 week, and then you want to shoot it. It doesn't work like that, you know. You have to brainstorm that script, you know, brainstorm that idea, you know, write the first draft. Sometimes, if you really talk to some of the most successful films, you'll hear it's draft number 18 or draft number 32, you know. It's going through back in on that script until, you know, it gets to a point like when you have a read through, everybody's like, okay, this is it. Okay.
Yeah. Dixon, do you agree with Tosh when it comes to matters whether Kenyans are paying attention to local films, or it's until the world recognizes it that's when Kenyans are like, aha?
I think he's right. Because one of the biggest issues in Kenya is that we have been used to our own mediocrity, be it in production, be it in mechanics, be it in what we produce, and it translates to even film. And like what he's saying, some people have an idea and they want to shoot it tomorrow. And someone once told me, there's a script I was writing, and he told me it's 1% talent and 99% hard work. So you have to keep on doing it. And in reference to the Muli movie, it took us 4 years to get it out there. The first 2 years was shooting, redoing the script, and redoing the script, and redoing the script, and just having people go through the process. And then the second thing was actually in post-production, where we had these guys in Hollywood who were doing the editing with the guys here in Kenya. And then from there, the premiere. So it's a long journey to get something out there. It's not really easy.
And Muli is a story about your father.
Yep.
Why was it important to tell his story?
What happened, it was funny. Someone came up and said, your story is phenomenal. There's a book, Father to the Fatherless. He read it. My dad was abandoned at the age of 6 by his parents. He tried to commit suicide at the age of 16. He got employed as a house help at the age of 17. But then from there, he got blessed because the place he was working, the lady of the house, the husband was the MD of Kakuzi Farm. And he was brought in to work in Kakuzi Farm. He became a foreman, a manager. Then he started a taxi business. And within 10 years, he was like sole distributor of Total in Kenya. He had a security firm, real estate, transport. And he was really blessed and became a multimillionaire. But then in 1989, he sold everything. And he went into ministry. And now MCF, over the last 29 years, has taken care of 13,000 children. 3,200 children are in our homes. We serve a community of 20,000 with free water. We have 200,000 people and planted 5 million trees. Right. And with all these things, for us, it did not look great. It just looked like any other day. And when people saw that, they were just happy. And I'm really happy our brothers are there in terms of the movie. Also, our documentary feature film has been shortlisted for the Oscar in the top 10. So it's really interesting to see
the people
Kenyan
behind
movies.
it.
And to see the guys behind it. I love the movie. It's really great, and I admire what you guys have done. And I think it's a difficult thing. And like, for example, we're having our premiere in Kenya. But we had to have all these awards for people to say, can we do this in Kenya? Like when it came out, it showed in the US, in Canada. We've won 8 awards all over US. It's shown in Nigeria. We've gone to all prisons in the US that they're doing a syllabus on it to teach people.
In Nigeria, what was the reaction?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing in Nigeria. They loved how the movie was shot. They loved the script. They loved how authentic it is. And right now there's a program in Nigeria and across America in 400 prisons, which they're going to show in all of them to teach them about hope and not giving up. But it's coming in Kenya on 26th of this month. But you get what I mean? It's taken like 2 years for it to
come back home.
to come back home.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right, very quickly, talk to us about the tour that you guys had in the States as well as in Canada. Yeah. Also the response towards it, the response to film based on a Kenyan, a film that was shot in Kenya. What was the reaction and the response back there?
It was better than we thought. first of all, it premiered in 800 theaters across the US. And there was an encore in 500 theaters again. It was amazing. Austin Film Festival, Toronto Film Festival got the best awards in that. And we were really blessed to see that people would appreciate the storyline. The second thing for us was really good because we told a story about transformation. And our main objective was not to make money from it. The main objective was to show hope, resilience, and just people coming back to realize even if you're abandoned at 6 and you become a mboch, there is hope for you. And don't treat people badly, by the way. You never know where they'll come 10, 20 years from now. And so for us, the response was really good. And right now, we are launching it in Germany and Mexico. So we just really thank God. I mean, it's beyond. We just thought it would be something that will be shown in halls, in,
and then that's it.
In churches. And that's how we started, you know, churches and all that. And then God just did his thing. Yeah.
In Nairobi Half-Life, you have this young gentleman who has left his shags and he wants to pursue a career here in Nairobi, our version of the Big Apple. But Charlie, for you, how easy is it to become an actor in Kenya?
Oh, it is not. Nothing is easy in Kenya. It's not such a thing as...
So many people could be watching, they're like, I want to be an actor or an actress, but where do you start? Because do we have film schools in Kenya that help you? Like if I finish high school, I can go into film school. If I finish film school, I can go into this firm that allows you to then have your film or rather a copy of what you can do on standby. So if there are people who, the likes of Tosh, who want to then get actors and actresses, they tell you this is, you know, our people.
A lot of people ask me that question, and there are many ways to skin a goat. Like, it all depends on the path that you choose. I think that the main thing that outlines everything is just, you need to keep on moving. Because my path was high school drama, and then Phoenix Players, and then I did my first commercial paid work was actually with, Tosh was actually part of the project. It was, I think, an episode of Changes, the first season. Yeah, I think he shouted that.
So you guys have already worked together before?
Yeah, no, it was amazing. Like, that was the first project I worked on. And it's a slow, steady process. So there's no set... There are people who went from high school and joined KU, because I know KU have a program, an acting program, and there are other institutions like AFTI. So there are many ways, but if you love doing it and you just keep on doing in whatever small way you can. If you're not being cast for projects, take out your phone and start shooting something for yourself. Like just keep making stories, keep moving, and then in doing that exposure will actually get people like Tosh to see you. Like Tosh will be on his Facebook and go like, this guy making jokes on Facebook, he can make one of my movies, and then boom.
Tosh, do you agree?
Hey, come on.
Yeah.
Because how do we find talent in Kenya? Do we have casting agencies?
You know, in fact, it's a good time for me to answer this question because my inbox is full of, my Instagram, my Facebook is a question. I want to be an actor. Everybody is telling me that. Now, people need to realize that it's not about talent. This business is a business. It's just like how you go to ask for a job if you're an accountant. It's the same thing. So you don't start by being an actor. Get yourself on the set, even if it's as an extra. You get yourself in the vicinity, and then you work hard. And if you work hard, you will be noticed. And that's how, it's that simple. You know, be on the lookout. Like, especially now, I'm like, the young generation now is so lucky. You know, like, you're living in a world that information is there for free. I get sent script ideas. I've said it again, and I've said, I will not read a script that is written in Word format, where you can go online and just how to write a script, and you're given free softwares that put the script in, you know, the format for writing scripts for movies, for screenplays. You know, do your part first. Before you ask for help from someone else, do your part first. And that's where I think a lot of young people are failing. They're not putting the effort. They want something, and they just keep saying, I just need to get to Tosh. You know, you don't need to get to Tosh. Do your part, I will notice, you know? And that's how it works. And
Then
that's
talent
the attitude,
will come later.
That's the attitude you need. You know, if you believe you have the talent, keep that to yourself.
Right.
Do the other part, which is make sure I work hard. Don't think that you're going to get a chance to be an actor alongside maybe Nini Washera just from the word go. No, you need to find a way. How do I get myself on that set? You know, and when I get on set, let me be focused. You know, this is my chance. I'm there watching the monitor. Even if you're the extra at the end there, I'll notice that you walk with purpose, you know, and I'll say, no, tell the AD, bring that extra closer. That extra is more real, you know. The next thing, you have a line. The next thing, you know, you're being called, and that's how it works.
Bramal, do you agree?
Yeah, this is, it's true. I guess action is always better than inaction. And the beauty of the place that we're in right now is the barriers to entry are so small. Because the first argument people give you is, we don't have adequate film schools. There's no way for me to get that kind of formal training at this particular standard. But a lot of the people who I've worked with and even worked on this particular project, and I know who worked on several projects that have been done by other people, are by and large self-taught. So if you're determined, if you're driven, then people will take notice. I sometimes don't even tell people what I studied in school, because I guess at this particular point in time, in this particular profession, it doesn't matter. Can you tell a story? Can you do your part, whatever small part it is? Because I believe in making a film, it takes a village. On the production that we worked on, it's a 21-minute piece, but we worked with over 200 people, you know? And everybody had to do their job for it to just look the way it did.
Right.
Yeah, so what I would say to anyone who wants to do any particular role, if you want to direct, if you want to act, if you want to produce and that kind of stuff, is start today, do something, you know? Make a choice. Make a good film, and then maybe one day you'll make a great film.
Okay, all right. So you've had it right here from them. We're taking a quick break here on Weekend Express. When we come back, I will be asking my panelists, has Kenya or rather Africa, Kenya lost her jewel to the rest of African countries like Nigeria and South Africa, her crown film, Jewel, and we'll dive into a little bit of that and what it is that makes us stand out from the rest of the African countries. Make sure you keep tweeting us. Use the hashtag Weekend Express. That's your ticket into this conversation. We're taking a quick break, but stay with us.